You know, one of the benefits of being able to have a backyard is that you can just walk out here and then hear all the traffic and take in how bright the day is. I don't usually go outside. In fact, this is one of the first times that I have in like a couple months. I went out like 2 or 3 days ago, something like that. But I don't usually do it that much, you know? I tend to stay inside. And so it's weird. It's weird for me to come outside and to feel that I'm out here. And I don't like that. I don't like that I spend so much time in the house that when I come outside, it feels strange and different, as if I'm not supposed to be there. I don't like that. And it's starting to be spring again. And so the weather isn't too extreme. I can just sit out here and enjoy the season for what it is. When I was at my old house, the house that I grew up in Tennessee, we would always have these big fires that they would be spread across all throughout the backyard. We would put our trash there, miscellaneous things. We would just throw everything onto the pile. And there were a few times in which the flakes of leaves or whatever it was that was coming up from the top of the fire that would go out into the air would fall down while it was still burning. And so there would be chunks of this burning ash, you know, that would land in my eye. And because I was little, I would freak out at the time. You know, I wasn't quite as woke as I should have been on on the idea of being injured. So, you know, we would have these huge fires, and I'm looking at this one right here, you know, at the house that I currently live in, and it feels absolutely pitiful in comparison to the redneck, you know, backyard fires that we used to have. But at the same time, you know, there's stones there and it's built, you know, it looks cool, but it's nothing in comparison to the scope of, you know, backyard fires that we used to have when we would just burn trash and stuff. It feels different, but it feels more upper class and stylish almost, even though, you know, ostensibly it's completely rugged, but you wouldn't be able to have, you know, a truly rugged fire, a big one, without violating some kind of law or disturbing the peace in a place like this, because there's a road right by my home where people are constantly driving and all that. It wasn't like that when I was little. I spent 16 years living in the same house where there were virtually no people around except for 2 other houses that were separated by a mass of trees. And so I look at this, and I look at how small the backyard is around me, and it feels so different. It feels so different from when I was little. But I think I like it. Then you got bullshit like this that's just sitting around. I don't know where this came from at all. It's just kind of sitting there. It looks like there's supposed to be some kind of water that's supposed to be put in it, I think. I don't see any other purpose for that other than to, like, give water to birds and stuff. And then obviously you have, you know, mandatory when living in the South, you have to have a random box filled with miscellaneous bottles that are mostly broken. I'm just pacing around in the backyard because there's nothing to do. You know, there's nowhere to go around me. You can walk across the bridge or whatever, and there's, you know, a Dollar General on one end, and then there's, you know, a bunch of other stuff as you continue walking down, but there's not, you know, there's not anything interesting to go to. Like, I can't walk to a restaurant or to an interesting store. So even though I can walk down, well, okay, on one end I don't like to walk down because there's lots of, gang-esque imagery going on over there where there's, lots of dangerous and impoverished people in that area. But, like, if you walk down the other end, it's just nothing but boring stores. And so, I've taken tons of walks through that area when I first got here, but nowadays I just find myself walking endlessly into the backyard the few times that I actually do go outside, because there's just nothing there. There's absolutely nothing there. And I don't really mind it that much, because anything that I can't get by walking to it, I can just watch someone else get it on my computer. And so I get the dose of reality by walking outside and being able to experience, the breeze and the sun and everything. And then when I go back inside, I can get a small taste of the reality that other people are living that I want to live. That's why I like watching travel vlogs so much, is because within the conditions that I'm currently set in, I can't afford to travel anywhere. But I can watch other people do it, and then, they can have a super aesthetic experience, and then I can be like, whoa, that'll be me one day. But at the current moment, there's a part of me that is longing for that. There's always been a part of me that's been longing for that, but I think I felt more content about it. Like, there's nothing pressing me to say I need to leave right now, or I need to visit these places at this moment, or else I'm just sad. I feel like I've found a way to fill the time to where I spend most of my time alone, but I still fill the time nonetheless. I walk outside and I feel like there isn't enough here that's interesting or cool, and I still fill the time nonetheless. And it's not as if I feel overtly happy by the end. I just feel relatively satisfied enough for it to be okay. And then I wake up the next day and I continue filling time. It feels like I'm waiting for something to happen. Like something's supposed to happen one of these days. There's a loud ass fucking police car. That's something that also happens a lot in my neighborhood, is that there's police cars constantly. If you have access to a secret channel of mine, you would know this, is that I complain all the time about the sirens. God damn it, I hate these people. So yeah, it's not like there's any kind of overt longing that I just need to quench, that I need to satisfy, but there is nonetheless a feeling of waiting for time to tick by, that I'm waiting for something to happen rather than making something happen. And I feel like with what I have at this moment, there isn't a lot that I can make happen. I can't just go outside and meet people that I know and then talk to them about, the current state of things. I can't just go to a shop and get ramen or whatever. I'm just kind of stuck doing whatever. And, on the one hand, there is a tremendous freedom to that, because you're not beholden to any societal institution that's going to make you do something each day. But at the same time, when you spend every single day just on your computer trying to, find as much information as possible, you begin to wonder, why is it that you're trying to find that information? Why is it that you continue going? And so the only thing you can do in that instance is to continue filling more and more time until eventually you achieve the thing that feels more fulfilling, that feels bigger, that you can do each day, that feels nice. You're just perpetually filling that time until that point. And I've been kind of having this realization more and more lately because I turned 17 later this month. And so when I turned 17, that's like, see, I started my channel when I was 13. So that's 4 years. That's 4 years that I've been doing this whole YouTube thing. And in the entirety of that time, I have done nothing but say, things are going to be great one day. I have all these goals. All these things are going to happen. If you go back before YouTube, there's more and more stuff like that, where I just say, oh yeah, everything's going to something one day. Yeah, that one, you know, that guy, he's going to do a thing. That's the extent of my planning ahead that I've had, you know, for the last 4 years, and before that even. You know, I've tried to build something bigger beyond this fucking rinky-dink YouTube channel, but each time I've tried to self-motivate and do things on my own, it's been very difficult. You know, I have trouble learning things or building things without a group of people to help me along, or without a group of people to feel like I'm a part of something that they're building. You know, I can't just create something on my own. I have to feel like the thing that I'm creating is part of a bigger whole. With YouTube, it's just self-indulgent masturbation. It's just me having as much fun as possible on my own. The same with like reading books or studying a specific period in time or concept. Like, that to me is just the same as playing video games. And so it's not work. Work is something that takes a little bit deeper into your consciousness. It's something that you have to put effort in. You know, the reason why they say the words effort is because in order to do it, you have to build yourself up. You have to make yourself do it. And the goal of effort, of arduous effort, as I would tend to say, is to build something. It's a means to an end. It's you do enough work until you can get the thing that you like. And I tend to think of my entire life in those terms. You know, what am I going to build? What am I going to achieve in X span of time? That's just how I view the progression of things. But when I'm in a situation like this where I'm just either on my computer or in my backyard, there isn't that much that you can achieve. You're just filling your time. And, I don't know. I don't know how to feel about that, what with turning 17 this year, or this month rather. In 2020, I'll be 18. I'll be one of these Zoomers who can now go out and vote. Oh God, end my life.